This is the Kitchen Sink WP Podcast, episode 542.
I program my own computer.
We have a server crash, 404 error, page not found, links aren't working, system is crashing, system is crashing, system is crashing.
Your old HTML website, barely alive. We have the technology. We have WordPress. A new website, better than it was before. Better, stronger, faster. Why, hello everybody, this is Adam Silvey, host of the Kitchen Sink WP Podcast. Thanks for being here. Let's get started. All right, upcoming events. We have one next weekend, WordCamp Bengaluru. I think that's how you say it. It's July 21st, one-day camp. It starts at, I believe, 9 a.m., goes to 6 p.m. It's in Bengaluru, so it's in India. If you're in that part of the world, you should go. I'm not going to be able to make it. Sorry. It's kind of far. Too far for a one-day camp, for me at least. All right. Moving on. Yeah, that's it for the events. Actually, one more event coming up in a second here, but it's more in the news. Anyway, segment one in the news. An acquisition has happened. Ring that bell again. BuddyBoss was acquired by Awesome Motive. Awesome Motive, of course, acquires a lot of companies. They're behind WP Beginner, Opt-in Monster, etc., etc. So that acquisition has happened. Congrats to all those involved. Also in the news, a virtual conference is coming up. It's the end of the month. It's WordSesh. It's free, so you can register for it now. The event itself is July 30th. It's a virtual conference for WordPress professionals, so you can sign up for that as well. So it's not next weekend. It's in a couple of weeks from this recording. So, all right. Is that it in the news? Yeah, that's it in the news. All right, moving on. Segment two, the meat potatoes of this week's episode. So as we find ourselves in the midst of summer, if not past the middle of summer itself, and with that, it's not uncommon to hit that mid-year slump, right? I mean, business might be slowing down just a little bit. People and companies are going on vacations. And with that, it's a time when some self-limiting beliefs can creep in and hold us back from really reaching what is our full potential as business owners. So in today's episode, I'm diving into the top 5 self-limiting beliefs that can hinder business owners. And more importantly, I have some strategies to overcome them. So sure, there are countless of limiting beliefs, by the way, swirling in our heads, but I've narrowed down just to the ones I believe that are most impactful at this given time right now for myself and maybe for you as well. And there's more than this. But so with that said, in no specific order, here are the 5 limiting beliefs for small business owners and some strategies to overcome them. Number 1, I need to do everything myself. Now, we've all been there, especially when you start out. Perhaps it's due that you don't have the funds to hire somebody, or you just think that no one else can do it as well as you. Well, guess what? You're wrong. People can do things better than you, even though it's your business and your idea. Trust me, people can and often do a better job than something you can do because it's not your, area of expertise, or it's not your, what's the actual word here? It's from this one book I remember reading, a zone of excellence, right? So keep that in mind. Now, the strategies to overcome this would be obviously delegate the tasks. Identify tasks that can be given to somebody else to do, whether through hiring, outsourcing, automation tools. This frees you up to focus on what you do best, okay? Once you do have a team in place, you got to trust them, right? Build a trustworthy team, develop the culture of accountability, provide them with the necessary training and tools to succeed. And of course, one other thing would be to prioritize. Focus on the high impact tasks that require your expertise. Let go of the smaller things, the routine tasks that can be handled by others. Okay. Number 2, limiting belief. I'm not good with numbers and financials. Now, this is a tough one. Now, this was me for a long time. And it's not that I wasn't good per se. It's just that I didn't understand it fully. And I've mentioned it before, and I'll mention it again. My friend Renee and her push to get me to read, and we were in this book club about it, Profit First. And it changed everything for me. Okay, so that was it for me, which really changed it. Now, the strategy to overcome the fact that you may not be good with numbers or financials is as following. Educate yourself. I did. Take a basic financial course to build your confidence and knowledge. Know your numbers, okay? Number 2 would be another way to hire somebody else. Hire an expert. Work with professional accountants or a financial advisor who can help you manage your finances effectively. Okay, I was lucky. I didn't have to hire anybody. I found Renee, so it worked out really well for me. And then use financial tools. Leverage the accounting software, QuickBooks, Xero. I use FreshBooks as well for billing and whatnot. And really, it helps you gain those insights to your business's financial health. Okay. Number 3, limiting belief. I can't compete with larger businesses. Okay. Now, this is tough to kind of wrap your head around. If you are a small business yourself, can you really do this? I mean, is this a limiting belief? It is. But the strategy to overcome this is you need to find your niche. You need to focus on a specific market and a segment where you can provide unique value that the larger business may just overlook. Okay. Once you've done that, you can build strong relationships. You cultivate those with your customers by providing an amazing level of exceptional service and a personalized experience. My company name kind of has that baked in. Concierge WP is my agency. I want it to be that white glove experience. That's what we say. Okay. And lastly, to overcome that belief would be leverage agility. Using the smaller size of your company can be a massive advantage because you're more agile, you're more adaptable to changes in the market compared to a larger company, okay, and to your competitors. So keep that in mind. All right, the fourth limiting belief, I don't have enough time to grow my business. Now, this is kind of just plain and silly to think this way, in my opinion. And I've been there as well in one aspect, but it's silly because the time is what we have. It's our precious commodity. Our most precious commodity is the time. And my job as a business owner is to really use that time wisely, okay? And how to do that would be time management. In this case, really use certain techniques, prioritizing tasks, setting clear goals, and using tools to help me do this. Also automating repetitive tasks. And in my case, those tasks would be for prospecting. So I actually have an email sequence that I use. I use a CRM, which I mentioned in the past. I use Pipedrive. I still use it. I've been using it for, 5-6 years now. But I will say I didn't use it originally. And I remember going to some of my friends who were doing really well in business and asking them, what's the difference? Here I'm trying to do prospect, but not having a method to do it, not having repetitive tasks and any time management. So now I set that time down and I block that time out to do those kind of things. So that limiting belief, if you don't have enough time, well, that's a problem, but you do have the time, especially if you work for yourself. You just have to be more diligent about the time management aspect. And number five, the fifth limiting belief here is I'm afraid of failure. Now, it's tough. I feel sometimes the opposite. I'm afraid of success. Like, what happens if all of a sudden I get everything I want? It's a whole separate one. Maybe I'll cross that down the line. But the strategy to overcome this one is you need to embrace it. You need to understand that failure is a natural part of our entrepreneurial journey, and it gives us an opportunity to learn and grow. Now, obviously, you can break down your business objectives to small or achievable goals. You can celebrate the small wins, build confidence, so that way you maybe not fail as large. But you can also surround yourself with a supportive network of mentors, peers, advisors, me. Reach out. I would love to help you as well, just as a friend, as a listener. So seek support of those around you as well. It's a limiting belief that you're afraid of failure. It's going to happen. It's inevitable. Not everything's going to go 100%. It does not go. It's not easy for everybody. It just doesn't work that way. It's not life. It's not running a business. Of course, there are many more self-limiting beliefs as well. Someone else is doing it better than you. I'm not good enough. I'm not ready. My product, service, or content isn't perfect. Those things, a whole separate level of things to deal with. But like I said, the top 5 that I wanted to share, which I just shared, again, it would be I need to do everything myself. I'm not good with numbers and financials. I can't compete with larger businesses. I don't have enough time to grow my business, and I'm afraid of failure. All those are true to some extent. It can be, but they are all solvable, and they have strategies that you can overcome those. Okay. If you want help with those, by all means, let me know. Some general mindset strategies, by the way, positive affirmations. Just practice an affirmation to reinforce your growth mindset. Continually learn things. Commit to learning and self-improvement through books, courses, seminars, WordCamps, business masterminds, etc. And of course, mindful practices. Incorporate practices like meditation or journaling to reduce the stress and to maintain focus. And last thing on this topic is, lately I'm really leaning into the quote that comparison is the thief of joy. Because for me, I'm trying to do my best every day not to compare myself with anyone else's business. I can only do what I'm doing for me, for my business, and for those around me. I don't want to compare myself, even to my past self, because it can be depressing sometimes, and it gets you in that rut, like, I should be doing better today. Sometimes you're not. So you got to give yourself grace as well. Again, comparison is the thief of joy. Keep that in mind. All right. If you want to talk about this, let me know. Reach out. I'd love to talk to you about it. All right, moving on. Segment 3, tip until the week. This week's tip, it's actually a tool. It's a plugin. It's called Gravity PDF. It's free. Yeah, I believe it's a free one. I believe, is it? Yes, I think it is. Anyway, I got this off the repository. It helps. It adds a PDF to any Gravity form that's submitted to the admin email. And it really saved a process that I put together recently for those Strava maps that I have that I mentioned a few weeks ago. Check it out. I'll put a link in the show notes if you're interested in that as well. All right, I'm going to wrap it up here. If you have any questions, go ahead, send it in via email, adam@kitchensinkwp.com, or use that speak pipe function on the website. If you want to support the show, a couple ways. Patreon is there, and buy me a coffee. If you want to sponsor the show, you can do that too. There's a form on the website. Fill it out. Get right back to you. Thanks for listening. See you next week. Now go out and do some awesome things with WordPress. All right? Bye-bye.